The Paycheck Protection Program is no longer accepting new applicants, and at current speeds, the EIDL grant program is going to take at least 40 weeks to fund everyone eligible. 40 weeks. So because of this, I decided to take it upon myself and find as many grant programs, as many small business grant program resources as possible. That way I can help you get your business funded if you are waiting for a grant or if you didn't apply on time for the Paycheck Protection Program. So after watching through this video, your eyes should be much more open to all the options out there besides our classic EIDL PPP grant programs. So this video is actually the part 2 to my PPP alternatives video. So if you enjoy this one and you want some more loan and some grant programs, check out that other one. I'll link it above as well if you enjoy this video. So starting off, let's just go ahead and jump right in. We're going to start off with the ERTC. Now you may have heard of this program, but chances are you don't understand all of the intricacies of it because it's fairly complicated. So I want to do a brief overview of this. That way you at least understand what is going on with the ERTC. The ERTC is the Employee Retention Tax Credit, and it is an excellent program if you have payrolls, if you have employees. This program gives up to $7,000 per employee per quarter for 2021. So it's huge. It's bigger than the EIDL grant. If you have employees, this is massive. And you can also use it alongside the Paycheck Protection Program. Now the ERTC has been around for a while. At first they said you had to choose ERTC or PPP. And then with the December stimulus bill, they said, you know what, you can do both. You just can't overlap. You can't double dip the funding here. So let's do a brief overview. So how it works is you get a percentage of qualifying wages, which qualifying wages are just normal payroll expenses. I have more information, very in-depth. I have an entire video just on this. So we're going to do a brief overview and I'll pin the in-depth video above. So how it works is you get a 70% tax credit compared to the wages of each employee per quarter. So it's a maximum of $10,000 in wages. You receive 70% of that back as a tax credit, up to $7,000 per employee in 2021. Now you can also receive this for 2020 and you can do it retroactively, but there's a whole process there. And like I said, this program is fairly complicated. So you may want to have your accountant actually set that up if you're looking for the retroactive aspect. But all you have to do in order to be eligible for this program is hit one of these two criteria. Either the government told you to shut down and you have some kind of proof, like they said, hey, we need to close for a few months, or you reduced your gross receipts either in 2020 by 50% in any calendar quarter of 2020 compared to 2019, or in 2020, you reduced your gross receipts, or they were reduced, you didn't reduce them. They were reduced by 20% in any calendar quarter in 2021 compared to 2019. So you only have to have a 20% reduction in order to pass this for 2020, and you get that 70% wage tax credit. You don't have to pay it back. It is an awesome program. It's just a little bit overcomplicated, so check out my other video on that. I'll pin it above if you want more information on it. Next up, we have a little bit of a niche program. It's medical research grants. It's niche, but there are a ton of categories within this category, so I just wanted to highlight it in case you happen to be in the medical field. And I was looking through a few of these grant programs, and some of them are huge. So this one is on HIV/AIDS, which I know most people aren't, doing research on that, but this is just one example. And each of these grants, like this one, is limited to $250,000 per grant, and many of these are like $250,000 to $1 million. So if you're in the medical field, you'll want to check this out. Also, all relevant links will be linked down in the description as well. Next up, we have the SBA's Community Navigator Pilot Program. So this one's kind of interesting. It's grants for organizations that want to or are currently assisting the Small Business Administration to help underserved small businesses get and understand resources available to them. So it's just like a community outreach program to help small businesses understand, like, hey, there's the PPP loan. Hey, there's this grant program. Hey, these are all the various things that are offered. So it's the Community Navigator program. Now, this program is grants that are fairly large. Grants between $1 million and $5 million for a 2-year performance period. So this is pretty large. And when I was researching this, I was like, hey, I should be a part of this program. Like, this is literally, that's what I'm doing with this video. The SBA is not paying me anything. I'll take that. I'll take $1 million. I'll take $5 million for making these videos. So if you're part of any kind of organization that helps with this kind of stuff, you will definitely want to check that out. Again, that'll be linked down below. Now, next, we're going to cover some state-specific grants. So something that's really exciting is with the most recent stimulus bills, there was a ton of state funding. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, I hypothesized that we would see many individual state grant programs pop up because of the state funding, because they're going to be like, what should we do with this money? And this is exactly what's happening. So there are many state-specific small business programs and grants that are now available. So we're going to cover some of those. If I don't cover your state, you're going to want to search your state, whatever your state is, followed by grant programs or small business grant programs, and there very well may be programs available for you. There also is rent assistance programs in many states that you might want to check out that as well. So we're going to first start with California. Now, California has the largest state-specific grant program in the country, and they are totaling it to $4 billion in total funding here. So this is a huge amount of funding for one individual state. They have it broken down. Let me zoom in a little bit. They have it broken down into several different categories. So $360 million in tax credits, $250 million for California's ports. Oh, this one's kind of funny. $250 million in tax credits to relocate to California. It's like, oh, now they're trying to get people back into California. It's like, how about just lower the corporate taxes a little bit? Lower your taxes a little bit. Businesses will stay or come back. But whatever. $200 million to expand sales tax exclusions, $147 million to the Main Street Small Business Tax Credit, and $95 million to jumpstart California's tourism industry. Now, this program has rolled out in phases. This most recent funding phase has not opened yet. So if you're in California, you're going to want to monitor this URL. I'll have it linked down below for when it opens back up. You'll want to monitor carereliefgrant.com. Next up, we're going to do New York State. Now, New York has honestly knocked it out of the park here. It's by far the best formatted state grant program that I've seen so far. Their grants here range between $5,000 and $50,000. And what I like about this is it's really focused on those micro businesses, very small businesses. You can see your gross receipts have to be between $25,000 and $500,000. That's it. So if you're between $25,000 and $49,999, then your grant is $5,000. If you're between $50,000 and just under $100,000, your grant is $10,000. And then between $100,000 and $50,000, your grant is 10% of your gross receipts, your gross revenue. So this is a very, very good program. And the qualifications here, just to briefly describe this, you have to have gross receipts between those amounts that we just discussed. You have to demonstrate positive net profit in 2019. You just have to have some kind of profit. $1 profit is fine. You have to demonstrate at least a 25% reduction in gross receipts on a year-to-year basis, so comparing 2019 to 2020, so 25% reduction. And then you have to demonstrate that the total business expenses in 2020 were actually higher than whatever you would receive in this grant program. So it's a great grant program in New York. They also have another program for restaurants, so a $25 million grant program providing funding to restaurants that choose to provide meals and food to people within distressed or underrepresented communities. I just thought that this was interesting for restaurants who may want to apply for this. So I'll have that link down below as well. Then we're going to do one more state, and that is the state of Wisconsin. They have additional $5,000 small business grants as well. And again, if I didn't mention your state, search your state followed by grant programs, because there are a ton of state, county, and city grant programs. So make sure you do that search. So Wisconsin has $5,000 grants. They're doing a lot of them. There's $420 million here. So they're estimating 84,000 businesses will receive that grant. Businesses with revenues between $10,000 and $7 million are eligible to apply. Next up, we have $5,000 grants for Black-owned small businesses. What's kind of nice about this one is it's not open yet, so you have some time to prepare. It opens in September. So what I would recommend doing is grab the link from this. It's linked down in the description. Grab that link, set a calendar notification either for like late August or early September with that link, and just check this link. Occasionally check it and make sure that you don't miss when it opens so you can grab that $5,000 grant. And if we check out the eligibility as to who can get the grant, we can see here it must be a Black-owned enterprise, of course, that's in the title, employ between 3 and 20 people, including the owner, be located in an economically vulnerable community, and have been harmed financially by the COVID-19 pandemic. So if you hit those, set a calendar notification, and then set another notification after you get this grant that says, hey Max, I got the grant, thanks for the video, and smash that like button as well. Next up, we have tech grants. Of course, this is another niche one, but I wanted to highlight this as well. I talked about this in my other alternatives video, but it's just so open as to what tech is. And then with this, if you're in the tech industry, you'll just want to search here, whatever your category is, because there's tons of different options. And I want to highlight this because These are huge grants. These are absolutely massive. We're talking hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars in some of these grant programs. So if you're in the tech industry, if you're on the cutting edge of basically anything, you'll want to check out this website, sibr.gov. I'll have that link down in the description as well. And then finally, we have grants.gov. I didn't even include this as like part of the total different grant programs because their site is down. Come on, I'm trying to do a video. What are the odds of this? I'm trying to do a video and their site's down all weekend for maintenance. So their site is down, but you'll want to check out this maybe on Monday or Tuesday, grants.gov, because they are another resource that has tons of options. Whatever your industry is, you can search your industry, or whatever your business does, you can search it. And chances are there's some kind of program for your industry. This is the biggest resources for grants. So of course, when I'm trying to do the video, it's not open, but you'll want to check that out. I give some examples in my other grants video that, again, I'll have that linked on this video if you want more alternatives. And then one additional thing that I like to always mention is check out community grants. Call your local Chamber of Commerce and ask if they have any small business assistance or small business grant programs. Call your local CDFIs and see if they have any assistance programs or loans or grants that they are currently offering, because a lot of those opportunities aren't online. They're not building nice websites that are searchable by Google, at least not easily. So you want to call and actually talk to those people, because a lot of times there are more wealthy people within communities who are trying to help, or the Chamber of Commerce has some money, from COVID relief or whatever is going on, and they can pass that on to small businesses. So you'll want to call your local Chamber of Commerce as well. And I hope that this was helpful. If it was at all, just leave a like, leave a subscribe. That's all I ask. There are some various offers down in the description if you want to grab things like free stocks, free crypto, other cool stuff. Also, just check out the links for all of these opportunities, these grant opportunities linked down in the description as well. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.